It was a rocky Tampa Bay debut for Tom Brady on Sunday. The former Patriots quarterback, yes, 2 touchdown passes, even running for 1 more, but also tossing 2 interceptions, one of which was returned for a touchdown, which is his 3rd straight game with a pick 6. First quarterback to do that since both Matt Schaub and Blaine Gabbert accomplished the feat 7 years ago. Not exactly company you want to be included with after the 34-23 loss, though. Brady was his own worst critic.
I think certainly poor execution, and it's what it comes down to. It's a game of execution, and obviously they, made more plays than we did, and made some just bad, terrible turnovers, and it's hard to win turning the ball over like that. So that's I obviously got to do a lot better job.
Michael Lombardi, welcome back. We have missed you. Here for a little segment we're calling New Team Who Dis. Week 1, biggest face in a new place. Tom Brady, a mostly forgettable debut for him with Tampa Bay. Where's your Buccaneers panic meter at, Michael?
Well, I'm a little disappointed in Bruce Arians' commentary after the game. I mean, it wasn't like they were pristine in their execution. Look, Tom didn't play well. I think that the quarterback before Tom threw interceptions. So you can talk about all the problems that Tom had as he learns it. But I think the identity of the Bucs was wrong. I don't think there was an identity. And I think that was the problem. I think they just tried to run a bunch of different plays and see what happens. So hopefully they'll get it straightened out this week. And Tom can get back on the right side, but it was not a very good start at all.
All right, Brady wasn't the only Patriot turned Buck who struggled in this one. Rob Gronkowski catching just 2 passes for 11 yards on 3 targets. How much are you reading into him being outshined by fellow Tampa Bay tight end O.J. Howard? Like, did Gronk and Brady break up?
Well, I think, Gronk didn't look himself. I mean, let's be real honest. I don't think anybody on the Bucs offense looked comfortable. That's a fact. And I think Gronk is going to take some time to get used to playing pro football, playing at a high level. You take a year off from anything, it's hard to get reacquainted to the sport. So give this some time. But he did not look like himself. He did not look like he had the juice in his lower body. And for me, that was disappointing. I thought I would see a more vibrant Rob Gronkowski, especially lighter, but that wasn't the case.
DeAndre Hopkins be like, new team, who dis? 14 catches for 151 yards in his Cardinals debut, helping Arizona upset the defending NFC champion 49ers. I understand Week 1 performances don't always become season-long trends, but how could his connection with Kyler Murray be this good this quickly?
Well, I think because the 49ers play a lot of zone, so it's easy to read. Guys are in space, he's open. Hopkins is, he averaged 10.7 yards a catch. He got a lot of targets. And they play a lot of zone, and I think Murray can move around and find people. I think it was their running game against the 49ers that really won that game for them. It wasn't as much Hopkins. It was that run game, and it was the fact that their defense rose to the occasion. They were 2 for 11. Jimmy Garoppolo only converted 2 third downs out of 11 attempts, and then they were poor in the red zone. So that's usually a recipe to lose games. Don't convert third downs, and don't score touchdowns, kick field goals.
Let's dive inside the AFC East here. Stephon Diggs, another wide receiver, hitting us with new team who dis. On Monday, he was as good as advertised Sunday, hauling in 8 of 9 targets for 86 yards. Josh Allen throws for over 300 yards for the first time in his career. What are the chances now Diggs is enough for Buffalo to dethrone the Patriots?
Well, they played a different game than they typically did. I think they went back to the Lamar Jackson style of offense. I mean, they really were interested in getting Josh Allen involved in the run game. And when you watch the tape of the game, he was effective. The Jets missed a ton of tackles. Their fundamentals, their techniques were poor. They look like they've only practiced for 2 weeks, and it showed up on the game tape, and they took advantage of it.
And new team who dis for one brave man in our nation's capital. Ron Rivera, coaching the Washington football team as he battles cancer, needed an IV at halftime. His team was down 17-0, went on to score 27 unanswered points. What can Rivera do with this team this season?
Well, I mean, look, he's got a really good defensive line. This is the second time, Emerson, that Ron Rivera coached Carolina Panthers were down 17 points to the Philadelphia Eagles with Doug Peterson leading them. Second time, once happened in 2018. Cam Newton led them to 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, won the game 21-17. And then yesterday, this defensive line took over the game. Carson Wentz took a beating. He had a hard time getting up off the ground. He got sacked 8 times. They had no running game whatsoever. They're up 17-0. They only had 17 rushing attempts for the entire game. It was a hard game. The Eagles' offensive line was beat up with Lane Johnson not playing. Brandon Brooks is on IR. Jason Peters is 38 years old. This Redskin team is going to be a hard team to play if your offensive line is weak. And clearly, the Eagles' offensive line was weak.
And that's how you deliver on the After Hours debut of New Team Who Dis. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
All right, elsewhere around the AFC East, the Jets' offense could get even worse, and it'll likely be without Le'Veon Bell on Sunday against the 49ers. New York's running back could miss a couple weeks with a hamstring injury he suffered in a loss to the Bills. Patriots do not face the Jets until November 9th.